You're joined by the Sweet Science, breaking our boxing one punch at a time and powered by Fortress Boxing. I am here with cruiserweight Lucas Roehrig. Lucas, first of all, I want to ask, big platform you're fighting on, how has preparations been for this fight on Friday?
Been really good. Stayed injury free. Had some really good rounds this camp with top amateurs and top pros, Chris Smith, Isaac Oko, and some other really top guys. So feeling great, feeling sharp, and yeah, just feeling ready for Friday.
Just touching on it, I don't want to touch on it too much, but you just said you've sparred a world champion that's going to be fighting very soon. How does it feel to be in the ring with these kind of guys? Do you feel like eventually one day you belong there?
Yeah, no, 100%. Obviously, it's kind of, it's nothing new to me now where since even before I had my professional fight, I've been sparring, world champions, and it's something that you need. So you know what level you're at and to feel comfortable. So for myself, sparring guys like Chris and all that, it's great that they're local. If I could fly over to Australia, we want a 24-hour flight. I would love to be sparring Jia Patai every day. That's an invaluable experience. But yeah, it's great. It's what brings you on as a prospect.
That's it. And it's great that you can get that sparring, especially this early in your career. Now you are going into your ninth professional contest. Now I don't want you to look too past this, but if you do get past this hurdle, let's just say,
Yeah.
what's next for Lucas? Are you going for a title now? What's going on?
Yeah, I think that's what, the question on everyone's mind is. People asking me, when are you going to get a title shot? When is this? But, it's been, I think the 9 fights we've been on 5 different promotions. So I've boxed on a multitude of different promotions. I've been on the small hall shows, been on big shows, and still haven't really, been locked down by someone. So for myself, I'm just going to keep climbing the rankings, keep beating whoever they put in front of me, keep putting on great performances, and a title should come soon. I'm still eligible for WBC Youth title. There's some WBA intercontinental titles or other intercontinental titles that are floating about, and obviously you've got the British that's getting fought for, the English. I don't know what's going to happen with that. So all these titles are floating about. As soon as the opportunity presents itself, then we'll jump on that.
I think you got, for the English title, talking about that, you got John Hedges and Pat Brown fighting for that. Is that one of them you like to get in the mix with eventually?
They're fighting for the British title.
British title.
So I think the English might get vacated.
Vacated, yeah, okay.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But obviously, the winner of that is definitely someone in the near future or the future that's going to be an opponent.
Talking about cruiserweights now, I feel like the UK scene especially is full of, cruiserweights are full of sharks. You've got Vidal Riley, recently European champion, you've got John Hedges and Pat Brown, you've got Alois Jr., you've got Chris Smith, there's so many. Is that in the back of your mind? You're like, okay, one day I've got to face these guys and I've got some good opposition. Unfortunately, it's the pool of boxers that I'm in now. Does that ever in training get the best out of you? Like, you know what, I might face these guys now at the top of the game. I need to make sure I grind hard now and get the best I can possibly can.
No, 100%. If you view yourself as a top prospect and a killer, you're going to be surrounded by, other killers. You're only going to get the recognition once, you beat, those guys that are respected and looked at as that in the British public. So for myself, it's a pleasure to have those type of guys. Because if you didn't, it would more so be a detriment. Because, you wouldn't be respected. Especially, there's been decades in boxing where the cruiserweight division hasn't been respected because people have thought he's a world champion or he's British champion, but who has he fought, or who has he beat? So sometimes it's not even about the title, it's about who you beat for the title. So if they're respected by the British public, it's what you want. You want those top guys.
Yeah, it will definitely raise your stocks as well when you do fight these guys. Now, I just want to go back on your last fight. The one before that, where you fought on a Wasserman show. It was quite a tough night in office for you. It was, for me as a fan, I looked at it like, you know what, I'm glad you've kind of gone through a tough fight early in your career and shown your true colours and gone to depths and kind of, swum yourself out of deep waters than doing it later in a world title fight. But I just wanted to ask you, from that fight, what changed? What is it that you went back with George and thought, you know what, we need to change this, we need to change that?
Yeah, it was it wasn't more so what was in the camp. There were certain things that could have been changed in preparation, but it wasn't more so camp. It was more so personal life and stuff like that. But I think that was a good learning curve to know that is boxing. Not everything is always going to go your way, and you just got to have the wherewithal and the composure to know, if you are hurt or if you do slip or something goes wrong or anything goes wrong, that you can compose yourself and build back, because the most important thing, especially as a prospect, losing at any early level is a big detriment to anyone's career. You see it all the time with top prospects. They catch early loss, it's a long way back. So these fights are very important. Everyone's dangerous. You got to respect everyone. And where I'm 8 fights deep now, that's just being more professional in each camp, and giving everyone the respect needed.
Absolutely, and it does show that you're salt in a game, that you can survive something like that, and it's definitely good to see. Now, I just want to wrap this up now. What happens on Friday 29th for you?
Friday 29th, looking, for a performance where, break him down, dissect him, watch a bit of film of my opponent, tall, I think 5 knockouts and 7 wins, so, probably got a bit of power, but definitely technically not on my level. So, break him down, injury-free, stay injury-free, and, hopefully, put on a highlight performance.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Lucas, and that is the sweet science. Cool. Let me just grab a quick picture of you, if that's all right.